Hey, just in time.
Dudes.
Dude.
What's up, y'all?
Dudes.
Hey.
Dudes.
Here we are again.
Are we
Back
live?
again.
We are
Yep.
live, Heidi Kuda.
We're live?
We're live.
We are?
Live.
No, we're
Damn
Memorex.
it.
We're
No,
live.
no.
Buddy.
So have we welcomed everybody to Rad Pod and Chill? What are we doing?
No, it's you.
no.
That's your opener. You get to do
Here
the
we
hi,
go.
everybody. Okay,
You got me
everybody,
right
hold
on
on. Here,
time.
Heidi, intro. Ready? Go.
Welcome everybody to Rad Pod and Chill. These guys are so cruel that I have not finished putting my lipstick on yet, and they've already gone live. And what I have to do to set up this shot on my phone in the hallway, like nobody will ever, ever, ever know the trouble I've seen. Anyway, hello. I'm really actually so happy to see you guys. Full disclosure, I fucking love all of you. You're so special to me and so brilliant in so many ways. And clearly, we just launched our Patreon. Thank you, everyone, for your support. We already have support internationally, which is really cool. And I gotta say, like, where I feel very grateful is that we, we're in the middle of an influence war on a macro and micro level. And there's been a lot of effort to discredit this team in many different ways. And we just keep doing the work. And that is what I'm so proud of. And episode 10, oh my God, was such a testament to that, as was 9, as was 8. But having Brent Allpress on to show asymmetrical counter trolling techniques and to get the very first Brass Bullocks Award, so-called because Brent never swings low. He's the kind of guy that's, he's focused and he's got some class, but when he gets pissed, he says bullocks. I'll just see that like one word there.
The
and then
Brits.
of course Becky Bryan. So I have so many things on my mind, but why don't we all just take turns? Sean first. What are you thinking, man?
Yeah, I've been really excited to see the response for the Patreon. I think because they want to see the video game that we're making. We're making a fun little video game for you guys.
Yeah,
we'll show
Sean.
we'll show a clip. We'll show a clip later or something. I'm working out some kinks with some audio, but yeah, it's been fun. I think Patreon will be exciting just because the ones that I've been a part of. It's nice to have a conversation within that platform. So you're just talking directly to the people back and forth. Obviously, it's controlled. Yeah, so it's more intimate and you much sort of deeper discussions. And I'm glad I'm feeling much better. I'm off the COVID sick ward, so finally over that. It's been nice. And
good. Yeah, one of my side hustles is raising money. So I love raising money for like the LA Phil and good things. And I was a grant manager for homeless services. And one thing I learned is that there's a lot of people who are willing to give. Many people are busy. They may not have the time to, do some of the things they want to do, but they will give. And so, half a year ago, I asked people to support me and to buy my ebook, and they did. And then 2 days ago, we put together the Patreon, and the support is, I don't know what to say. It's been really quite beautiful. I don't think we have a $5 supporter yet. It's been, 10, 20, and 100. And with that, Sean's going to give you all kinds of cool assets. Hi-Fi is going to do a Why It Matters newsletter, which people have been asking for, so he can compile some of the important news that he curates for the show. And quite frankly, Jim, who's never asked for anything, he's all about the work, reached out and said, if you want to support, and people like immediately started supporting Jim, which is incredibly vital because the work he's been doing is why this show was created. So thank you, everybody.
Yeah, let me just say that in my own words, which is everybody who's reached out and supported me, I'm really grateful. I spent 18 months specifically on purpose not taking a dime, but it's just gotten to the point that at this point I need help in order to keep doing this. And so everyone who's helped and even just supported me and not listened to the idiots who are out there, I'm very grateful for you. My brief update is been working on a piece that I think is going to bring the two kind of sides of what we've been talking about together, namely the disinformation, the fascist takeover that's happening, as well as the sort of micro issues that I'm having and my friends and colleagues are having. There's a reason both of those things are happening at the same time. So we'll talk about it more next show.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Go ahead.
Jim, I have to apologize. I misunderstood your message, and I actually went to the sporting goods store and bought you supporters and sent you those. So my mistake. Just ignore those when they arrive.
It's these brass bullocks, man. I knew it.
Wah, wah, wah.
Wah, wah, wah. Sorry, man. Got to throw the dad jokes in while you can.
To what Jim said, when I use the word micro, it's funny because it's not at all to say it's not massively difficult when you are the target of one of these discrediting, demoralizing campaigns. But it also, as we all know, it's because we're doing vital work. All we have to do is let people see our last 10 shows, and they will meet the greatest minds in disinformation, the greatest investigative minds. And interestingly enough, they also happen to be like some of the coolest people. And, I don't know how many people that I've talked to in this space who also are musicians, as are all of you guys. I was a music writer ever. I just think it's kind of really cool that so many people, who are in this fight in earnest also actually are very connected in many ways to music. And I bring that up because I am a hybrid of a punk rock granola eating hippie originally from NorCal. And so when Neil Young threw his weight into the ring on behalf of disinformation and fighting against it, I did what I usually do, which is like, I'm elated and I cry at the same time. So all day long, I've been pulling out my Neil Young vinyl. I have been buying any song I don't have off of iTunes. I've been doing anything, writing about it, tweeting about it. And both of you, or all you guys probably know that both Neil Young and Joni Mitchell had polio. And why that matters is because there was a vaccine that was invented that actually kept all of us out of iron lungs. And so for Neil Young to do what he did, and it parallels to Jim's story, because the first time you got knocked off of Twitter, it was over a Joe Rogan tweet. So I find it very interesting that these worlds continue to intersect. It's fascinating.
So two things, Heidi. First thing is that, the first thing that you do is that you tried to book Neil Young for the show. So let's not misinform people about that. No, just kidding. Because you knew the publicist, but that's the kind of level of guest that we're getting. I mean, incredible.
Did Neil Young's gonna what?
I got a text and she's like, "I'm trying to get Neil Young on the show." And I was like, "Fuck."
Yeah, I'm trying to get Neil Young on the show. I know he'll love it because the show's so punk rock, and he really is at his core just so individual, and that to me is what the spirit of punk is. And I know he'd love the show. So immediately I reached out to our mutual friend, his publicist who works with him, and he said he's not able to do it at this time, but we will continue to ask him. And I also do need to apologize to him in person because I was at a show in 2012 when Social D was opening for him, and I am not a guitar solo girl unless it's Generation X, youth. That's like my only exception to the rule. And Neil was really in his guitar solo zone. So I was there with my friend who's the bass player, strung out, and we both were yelling from the rafters, "Play another guitar solo." We were such assholes. The truth is you could play the guitar solos for the rest of eternity, Neil. We love you so much for using your platform. Good.
I
Hey,
love
Neil,
Young.
get more people to
Metal
cancel
Machine music
Spotify.
is unlistenable though.
What's
Sorry.
that?
Huh?
I said Metal Machine music is unlistenable. I love Neil Young, but he should
Well,
not have perpetrated those
You
records.
know,
in the
we're trying
world.
to get a guy on the show, and y'all are heckling him, and I'm just
I'll
like,
tell
how
it
is
to
this
his
going to
face.
work for us?
I
How does
love
this?
Neil Young.
Yes, we wanted to talk
Just-
to this guy. Oh,
but-
by the way, this album sucks.
I would
What?
say
I'm
I would
sure-
say edit and post, but we're live, so I guess
Oh
that's
yeah, it's
no, but no. This is a punk rock show. Jim's keeping
Silly.
it fucking real as he does, and the truth is, like I said, I owe Neil an apology because. Listen, I'm friends with Greg Ginn from Black Flag too, and you know Greg goes off and does his own things too. That might not be my favorite shit he does, but he's an artist and he feels it. So Neil, whatever you fucking want, you're feeling it. But more than anything, we need you and probably Dave Grohl and whoever else can start, you know, continue. First of all, fucking Spotify and all this shit really sucks for artists. They're not getting paid as they should, which is why I still buy shit off iTunes because my friends who are in bands actually see a little bit of coin from that. And my kids think I'm an adult, but I do it for that reason.
yeah, but more artists should go to Bandcamp where they get like a lot more direct money. Bandcamp is
Bandcamp's definitely one of the best.
Support artists.
Bring back
Radiohead's the first one who just decided to give it away and let people pay whatever they wanted.
Yeah,
and it was.
There's a great.
They did pretty well.
They did. They actually did better than they would have with the label. There's a great book called Ripped. If any of you guys are curious, it goes through the evolution of streaming and what happened and how concurrently.
Fuck Spotify is right. I'm looking at some comments.
That's why my band didn't get signed.
Speaking of,
I don't have the comments up. Oops.
Speaking
I mean, how you allow that guy to do that?
Yeah.
To what is universally a bunch of fairly vulnerable, kind of young, angry men is disgusting. It's
what do you mean? They pay him to do that?
Well, I know, but presumably in that contract, there's some kind of rule that they could invoke that says, "Hey, don't kill your fucking listeners, you idiot."
Yeah. Right.
Like. Where's the "don't kill your listeners" clause? That's what I want to know.
God damn, it's good to see you.
This fucking guy is putting Robert Malone on this idiot. This
weird.
Like guys, these Holocaust denying, like anti-vax nightmares.
You know, I can't help but wonder.
How does anyone live with themselves?
I can't help.
Time Cube, sweetest board games.
I wonder because it was after he signed that contract that his guests seemed to get noticeably more. Right. I mean, he had been going that way for a while, but after the contract, like Malone, that's just crazy.
Yeah. If we don't start looking at all this shit as operations that are out to destroy, whether it's science, democracy, whatever. I tried to do a quick study of the Swedes behind Spotify, and it looks like they're part of, because they have been embroiled in lawsuits for their conservative rights, and it got me thinking, as I always do at 2 fucking a.m. in the morning, that we need a global tech treaty right now. We need regulations with teeth. We need these phony ass so-called Christian libertarians who are destroying our children, our country, our belief in science and whatever.
Monster. What?
Well, yeah, or Peter Thiel, you name it. We need these guys to sign a fucking global treaty saying that we are going to stop using all of our power as these masters of the universe that they've become, and we've allowed them to become that, to stop killing our people, our country, our democracy, and to prove and show us evidence that they're not authoritarians and that they're not helping us lurch toward authoritarianism. I firmly believe that. What are we doing if we're not immediately the last of the democratic leaders of democracies globally enforcing a global tech treaty? We need some kind of, action the way we have, Paris climate.
I think you need to break that down a little bit more. I think there need to be very harsh regulations on how people's data is utilized, because one of the things they're doing is aggregating all this data about people. They have, I forget what it was, like 1,000 data points on pretty much every single American. It's You know, their websites gather data about us. They know where we shop, what we look at, what we buy, what we read.
Yeah.
How do they not know how to manipulate us?
So all that's really important, but the issue is that it is not illegal to hurt people.
Yeah.
Like I keep coming back to this very simple line.
Yeah.
If your speech hurts people,
Yeah.
you should not be free to do that speech.
Right.
I'm
That's,
sorry.
yeah.
Fuck
Right.
that shit. The
Right.
Constitution does not allow you to use your mouth to kill people.
Yeah.
That's not what free speech is. It's about the government not being able to prevent you from saying things. It has nothing to do with you not being responsible for what you say, including going to fucking jail if what you say kills people. Like the almost million Americans that didn't need to die.
Right.
So let's just, we have to get to the point where we're comfortable saying
Yeah.
free speech has limitations, and we have got to stop allowing these fascists to pretend that they actually care about civil liberties. That's not what they're doing. They're giving themselves the space to hurt people.
Yes,
And
that's
so
right.
we need to push back against that and make it illegal to hurt people online.
It's the paradox of tolerance, right? I mean, if a tolerant society is so tolerant that they allow intolerant speech and behavior, their tolerance will be used against
it's
them.
Weimar,
yeah, and it, yeah. What was that? Dr. Popper, Karl Popper, I think.
We continually point out, and we're going to do it, I don't care if we do it every damn episode, that Germany, which learned a few things since the 1930s and 40s, has laws against hate speech, okay? We also know that there are other countries that are actually protecting the privacy of their citizens through enforcing privacy data laws. So this idea that we just are, you know, we're America and we're so free and we're rugged individualists. No, we are being so fucked, and our freedoms are being weaponized against us. And it shouldn't be four blokes on a podcast screaming this. This should be the global conversation happening that is basically saying, you know, what kind of future do we want? Do we want a future where it's okay to tear people down for anonymous accounts or Russian-controlled accounts, trying to pretend that they're the authentic ones, and then they tear down other people doing the work of democracy? I'm right now watching a friend of mine who wrote an incredibly important book, and I'm not going to mention it. And she has troll after troll after troll leaving shit reviews on her Amazon account in clearly English not as their first language vernacular. And Amazon needs to fucking take those reviews down, okay? She has a 5-star book, all right? Fuck this skewing of the conversation continually by interlopers who are trying to hurt our country and those who speak truth.
So when I saw that, I looked into some of that, Heidi, and there's been fucking arguments and litigation over this since like 2013 when this started blowing up, and it's really bad. The problem, of course, is Amazon their algorithm, and it's proprietary, and so they reward the most recent post higher than they reward a post that's lower down. So if you have a good review, so they reward essentially the argument. This is from authors. I was reading authors' blogs. It's terrible because the most current, the most recent one gets ranked higher. So then, you know, they're weighted. There's no way for them to. He said it takes for one good review or for one negative review, it takes up to 12 positive reviews to outweigh it.
Okay,
so it's horrible.
Algorithms are, you know, obviously a huge part of it. I mean, there's two theories. One, I got taken out. And the other, I got like grabbed by an algorithm, and Twitter is just the worst customer service in history.
Yeah, Twitter's terrible.
Like,
and I mean, we're gonna see that more and more.
What happened is an algorithm like caught an IP, you know, like IP address in the wrong place at the wrong time and said,
Yeah.
ooh, it's ban evasion, and just nuked my
Yeah.
account without any human intervention whatsoever.
Yeah.
I got
And
suspended.
it's fucking harmful. It was absolutely wrong.
And I got suspended
and they're not being responsible about it in any way. And it's the same kind of thing. They've hurt me by allowing it to happen, and they've hurt the author by allowing those reviews to happen.
Right.
Both are inauthentic.
That's right.
I would like to point something out here, that if you hearken back to our interview with Craig Unger, he said there's a lot of Russian money in Silicon Valley.
Yes.
And if you control the people who write the algorithms, you can control what the algorithms do. And hiding it behind proprietary legalese.
It is proprietary. I mean, technically, it is proprietary, but it doesn't change the fact that they won't change it. Just like YouTube, just like YouTube has the algorithm that pushes people into more extreme content for engagement, and they already have the algorithm. The guy that wrote that algorithm wrote the algorithm to correct it before they fired him, and they still have it. They haven't.
I have an ace in the hole. I used to be the producer for Lauren Sanchez, who is the girlfriend of Jeff Bezos. So all my friends who know Lauren, and Lauren, hello, I love you. Tell your man to handle this, because Jeff clearly could make a decree that they're going to stop allowing inauthentic postings, and it could be done. It doesn't have to be this thing where we all bow to the algorithms. It doesn't have to be Alphaville and Alpha 60. This can be human interaction. Lauren, ask your man, please stop fucking over authors. It's hard enough.
And the fix is very simple. The fix is very, very simple.
Right. Yep.
Only allow reviews from verified purchasers. Just period.
Yeah.
Also, you would think that he would have more sovereigns for books, as Amazon began, right? Book trading as a bookseller.
Do you know how hard it is? I've written how many books? I don't even know how many books I've written, because
6.
some of them, and then some are some I ghosted too. So like, do you know how fucking hard it is to do this work and to get a book published? And and then I look on Amazon, actually, now that we're talking about it, somebody's selling my Tupac book. It ain't me. And I've got to handle this. It's like the burden is always on the person getting fucked. And that has to change. When Jim was appealing for his second or third ban, the hoops that he had to go through and the evidence that he had to show that he was the subject of a coordinated attack, the burden was on the victim. And that's so fucked up. I mean, these tech people are allegedly of, blood and bones too. They probably have children. Maybe they don't want a hellscape either. The guy who created the like button for Facebook, he has regrets. He did not know that it was going to be like this. And his kids are being raised in a world without technology. Their schools don't allow it. And so, good for him. I'm glad he's able to do that for his children. But what about our children? We know the whistleblower from Facebook said that they're trying to hook them the way that nicotine was hooking people, decades.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, I mean, it's just really important stuff to think about. And on that note, do you have the clip where Brett Allpress is talking about the operation being the left flank of the, pro-Flynn posse?
Here's the fun part. I have all the videos. I just don't know which one's which.
Well, it's either going to be, Hi-Fi didn't name them, right? It's either it's probably the shortest one. I think it was short.
All right, let me see if I can tell by the.
Or it's going to be Jack A. Bryan, which
109, 207, and 207. So let's try the 109.
Brent Allpress, all the way from Australia via New Zealand. Brent is going to receive a very special award before we get into.
Is this not it?
Nope, that's the brass bollocks, which is funny in itself.
I just want to see it.
Let's play it. Yeah, and then we go.
I know. I didn't really check his face when he got the award.
Let's watch it.
Okay. Quiet down, guys.
If Sean could pull that up, that would be amazing.
Sure can.
You are getting the first ever Brass Bullets Award.
All right, well, you laughed. That's good. Well done.
We're honored to present this award to Brett Alpress for exceptional achievement in asymmetrical counter-trolling tactics for the Radicalized True Survive Strategy Academy.
All right, kill that. Kill that.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Actually,
That was funny, though.
That's fine.
All right, I didn't even notice he laughed. That's good. I'm glad he laughed.
Did you?
Yeah.
No. He's Irish. You got to realize that. He's got a great sense of humor, and the look on his face, he had that look, because the next thing he said is, you can see that the award is, gender neutral, and clearly that again is Sean Connor's digital deviousness, but the point was well taken. He did show the kind of cojones that was very impressive to me, because he just relentlessly stood his ground and then smoked out the op as being the left flank of the pro-Flynn operation. And why that's important is because I think Jim is working on a piece that's going to set a few things straight and probably shock a few people who might have been scared off from us when the attack started. And that's understandable, because I've described it before when I was hit in 2018. It's like you're having the best party, and all of a sudden someone throws this fucking bomb on the dance floor and everyone just leaves. No one wants to be around it. People are afraid. They don't want it to come their way, or they begin to doubt, is Jim really a felon, or is, Heidi really not a progressive woman? Like, you know what I mean? They start to kind of go, what? And for those of us who've been using our real name ever since we fucking threw in to fight this war, like, good luck fucking doxing and opping and whatever, because we put it all out there. It's like, this is who we are, and so it's,
and that's why they have to make shit up.
Yeah.
Well,
right.
I don't use my real name, so it's not searchable.
That's why they don't say who they are, because if we knew who they are, and I know who more of them than they think are,
I know.
they would.
Yeah.
They would, I don't have to make stuff up about you guys.
Yeah.
I don't have to make anything up. I can tell the truth. That's the problem. That's the problem they have. That's why they have to do this shit, is because we're actually trying to help, and you are not, and you are criminals, all of you.
Well, what's great is that, again, this would be the time.
This is asymmetric,
asymmetric
influence war by people with extremely bad intentions. And yes, Heidi is correct. I will clear some things up.
Yeah, Jim has the
it's foreign and domestic. That's what's the interesting part.
Well, what is great is that because this isn't my first rodeo, along the way, we met people in intelligence, and they actually are concerned about what's happening because they've seen it before. So what's great is not only the fact that we actually are working with people who are very well connected, but the other thing about that is Jim is offering an opportunity for people who might just be sort of swept up in this to reach out to him and pull out before before
the hammer comes down.
Before it's hammer time. So, because look, we're I don't know. I mean, these are some cool people.
There may be some people out there who are genuinely just, think the wrong thing. I think there are. I think there are some of them who've just been fooled. I don't know about the majority of them, but I think there are some. And if you're one of those people and you just really think that I'm like some fucking evil guy for whatever reason, fucking just email me. It's easy. Stewartson@protonmail.com. Just email me. Let me know why you think I'm fucking evil. I will disabuse you of that, and then you can tell me all about who's paying you, because that would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
We're going to find out anyway. So
Yeah. So
yeah, that's the real question, isn't it? Who's paying them?
what was very interesting was yesterday somebody had been, given some bad information, and the clearinghouse literally comes my way, and I'm just like, just reach out to Jim. And this person was authentic, reached out to Jim, and we're cool. It's like when you're authentic, you just have a conversation and everyone's freaking cool. When there's all this little interference and, a lot of people shutting down their accounts and then deleting everything and then coming back, and it's just like, so obvious. And yes, if you can find the left flank, but don't worry about it now. I think some of the things that I would like to talk about from episode 10 that I thought were incredibly vitally important. We touched on it a bit, but clearly Jim and Hi-Fi and Sean know a lot more than we talked about. Pardon fraud. Okay, so we had an inauthentic president who was aided into the White House by the idiocracy of reality TV combined with a Russian military operation to psyop and mindfuck our people. Not only did that inauthentic president, with the asterisk, the Charles P. Pierce asterisk, whenever you refer to the president and that person, not only were there inauthentic appointments onto our Supreme Court, because if you're literally opted into office by the Russian military and the idiocracy of reality TV, to me, I don't believe it's authentic, my opinion.
And theocratic fascists with money, don't forget them.
And theocratic fascists with money, yes, they all lined up to kiss the ring, of course. But I took a look at those that Trump pardoned. And those same people he pardoned were quite clearly, as we have evidenced many times on this show and in my own investigative reporting, behind the ugly day of January 6th, which, as Ruth Ben-Ghiat has taught us, that day is now going to be remapped as a badge of honor for the felons who are going to try to put themselves into office. And that matters because we've already seen the New York Times doing glowy, dewy pieces on this badge of honor, from somebody who was there. And so in any case, Roger Stone, Michael Flynn, Paul Manafort, Bernard Kerik,
Steve Bannon.
Let's call attention to Jim's blog today about the first convicted January 6th insurrectionist who specifically stated that Michael Flynn was part of the reason.
Yes.
And thank you to the reader who sent me that. I appreciate it. I wish I could remember your handle right now. Sorry. But somebody, one of the January 6th defendants, named Michael Flynn as the person who radicalized him.
Yeah.
And as just the prime figure in QAnon specifically, he is a digital soldier. I have been telling
he's got a
people
trademark
for a year and a half. He created digital soldiers in 2016 after he successfully stole the election through Pizzagate and a bunch of other ops. He created the idea of digital soldiers. He fucking trademarked it. And then he sent off his MAGA 3X people into the chance to go create LARPs and PSYOP shit. And they finally came up with QAnon, was their, kind of pièce de resistance. And digital soldiers was in half the fucking profiles of people in QAnon. I'm a hashtag digital soldier. Or they had 3 stars in their bio, which is meant loyalty to Flynn. They still do it on Telegram to this day. That dude created QAnon. And not only that, I now have a lot more details. And I've been writing about that over the last few days, about exactly who, exactly how, and how they cooperated with each other. And this new piece that I have will have even more interesting details about that and how it all wraps around back into all this bullshit that we're all going through right now. So
Well,
that's
what
my
I like is
I
that
love this message. Yeah.
our digital dissenter, who probably can't show it now because it's probably still a work in progress, he's going to make it so, like, what's the right word? It's kind of a merger of skanky and gnarly.
You talking about me?
He's going to make it so grotesque to call yourself a digital soldier.
Oh, are we talking about the anagram?
The anagram.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize that. Yeah, let's see. I have that somewhere.
It's going to
Yeah.
be the anagram de resistance. So
Yeah, that's right. I just realized that last night because I'm into anagrams like a nerd. So I was trying to name the video game and I was messing with the digital soldiers.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
That's an anagram. You know.
So again,
are you going to show it, or are we just going to say it?
Let me see.
Well, while he's debating that, just know that our supporters are going to get super hot, off the, hot off the press, artwork and gifts and a radicalized pod game and all these things that Sean does. That just, I mean, it's just so cool. It's so fun. And I see Marie. Marie is here, and it's got to be like 2 a.m. in Paris, so I didn't even ask her to curate the questions, and she's here. She's so great. So there's just...
Yes, they have Louise, Marie. The good for them.
Yeah. To me, that's Voldemort. Don't say it. Don't say it.
I think that's all you need to know. But
she who shall not be named.
She will make an appearance.
Well, so
she always makes an appearance.
Our friend Sharon is here, and just so you guys know, I have a project coming up, and one of the first people I sent it to was Sharon because her point of view means a lot to me, and she sent me. It's related to a book that I have coming up, and she sent me.
You guys want to see this thing?
Did you find it? No. Why don't you run whatever clip you have? It's either going to be the team talking.
Oh, do you want? Okay. I got the digital
what I really want to see is Jack Bryan's clip. How much time do we have left? We are.
Well, I'll show you the digital soldiers or not. We'll wait for that.
Oh no! Show it. Show it.
The anagram of digital soldiers is.
You're not going to want to be a digital soldier no more.
That's just an anagram.
It is large dildo. Yes.
Digital soldier anagrams into it is large dildo.
You know what?
Funny how that works.
It's amazing. I'm so happy about that. Usually, I mean, there's very few. Actually, what's the other? Palantir's like not leave LA or something weird like that.
No, we're not going down that road. All right.
Anyway, that's it. All right.
So we talked about what were we talking about? Jack Bryan.
Well, with Jack Bryan, the clip that I used was I tried to squeeze out a quote from him, which I did on what was most important for him to tell people. I think it's a pretty quick clip if you can find it. And if it's not the right one, who cares?
Is the one that Hi-Fi sent me?
Yeah, Hi-Fi, you got to name them when you send them, okay?
Yeah, I don't know. All right, we're just going to jump in here. Here we go. See what this is.
Let's see what this is. In our rundown meeting yesterday, also, I asked you guys, so many of the things. Pardon fraud. Oh, no. What is this? This is not pardon fraud. No. We'll run this one. This one's cool. This is about you just.
Okay, here we go.
Rattled off from the AFLD anti-vax grift. So much of it, as we know, is grifters profiting off of these lying influence campaigns, but they are also helping destroy our democratic institutions. And you guys said that those two are not mutually exclusive.
Well, no, grifting and fascism go hand in hand. They always have. I mean, if you look at the economic changes in Weimar Germany right before the fascists took power, there was a lot of corruption. There was a lot of seizing of companies.
Yeah, that's right. Are you wearing the same thing, Hi-Fi?
Actually,
I have 3 of these hats because
Jim has something really good to say in this clip. I want to hear it, so keep
for
playing.
a lot of dirty deals, and it's the same.
I mean,
the grift and fascism are tied.
Fascism is about accumulating power for the sake of accumulating power, right? How do you get power? Fucking money, right?
Wealth. Yeah.
I mean, money is important. Cash flow is important. That gives you power, right? So of course the fascists are going to be finding ways of getting money, and the way they're going to be doing it is by exploiting flaws in the system, like the fact that this fucking group of doctors can be out there pushing ivermectin and whatever to Americans and be allowed to do that and continue and not just get immediately raided by somebody like, what the fuck are you doing? Is what fascism is. It's
Right.
finding these holes in the system, these ways to exploit it, that we don't have a way to deal with yet.
That's right. And once again, go ahead, Sean.
Oh, I was just gonna say, often.
What was
I can't
Sean?
listen to I can't listen to myself. It's too weird.
It's too weird.
So that's still not the clip we wanted to play, but I think that's a very vibrant conversation. And we do this Rad Pod and Chill because we know not everybody has an hour and a half or 2 hours to watch the episodes, and sometimes people catch up on the weekends or whatever, but some of the information is very vital. And I come from the school of journalism where news delayed is news denied, and that conversation in particular meaningful to me because even if we look at Neil Young and what he took a stand for, we're talking about disinformation, but we're also talking about the monetization of grift and the monetization of this slouching toward authoritarianism. And as these brilliant guys I work with just explained, the grifting and the fascism are like hand in glove. So well done you.
You know, something I've been noticing as the tension builds up in Ukraine is the amount of misinformation that the Russian government and Russian media feed their own people. They're trying to say it's America and NATO freaking out.
Yeah.
But so they've got 100,000 troops on the border. What?
What do we know about Putin? What do we know about Putin? What do we know? We know a lot. First of all, this team knows a lot about him. But one thing we do know is when he starts to frickin' slide in the polls, when his ratings go down, what does he do? He hosts a war, you know, and it's always projection. Oh, we have to defend ourselves from the horrible Western imperialists. No, you don't. No. We wish you would just leave us the fuck alone, you know?
For those guys, for any of y'all interested, the what is it, the Kremlin podcast? Is that the Kremlin File?
Yes.
Kremlin File.
Oh, man, I started listening to it. It is fantastic. I know a little bit about that issue, that topic, but it is deep dive. Good stuff.
I reached out to the ladies today to be
they're amazing. And they're very erudite, and Olga's great. In fact, I learned that, you know, once Russia has at least 12% of the country's economy that's flowing through it, then they go into the economic capture of that country. So they had the breakdown of whatever countries had 12% of their GDP is from Russian money flowing through it. It's at that point that they tip. So it's been really interesting. Those kinds of notes and information has been really fantastic. Great podcast. Check it out.
And if you did, yes, I reached out to both of them to invite them to be our guests on this show. And I told them you'll have 45 minutes just to hype your show and tell us about, you know, all the episodes, because I think it'll be so vital. And I love that kind of cross-pollination between pods. Speaking of which, after this ends at 8 o'clock, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to crank up DJ Mark Metz to 11. He's got a Neil Young, Joni Mitchell, all on vinyl DJ set coming up, and it's on my Twitter somewhere. It's Dance Jam on Mixlr. It's going to be super, just lovely. He's just, oh my God, he's such a wonderful DJ. Does he really mix that stuff together, or does he just play records after that? He spins vinyl and he puts it out through Mixlr so we can hear him, and also Twitter Spaces.
Nice.
But he also hosts a show called The Undertow, which is looking at the transnational mob, and I got to be the inaugural guest on that. So anyone showing us that kind of love, I'm just putting it right back there. Like Jack A. Bryan coming on, produces Kremlin File. Why wouldn't we want, hosts to come on? But
another example of copyright just not keeping up with anything. Like we couldn't play a single second from anything new without getting copyright strike. But you can go over these
music though. That's why we have your brilliant music.
It just drives me crazy though that you can on some platforms. You can actually do a DJ set without getting a strike, and then on others you can't. And so it just gets frustrating.
Well, yeah, I don't know how. That would be a good question to ask him because, but it's also probably context. The DJ spinning music is going to obviously have to be playing the music where
live performance.
Our
for
show
promotional use only. Like
we don't need anyone's music. We got Moses on a motorbike, so we got Connor's music.
It was more just saying that's what's more confusing for everyone as content creators. Is like, which one can you use, which one can you not use? There should be some sort of understanding or some other third body like ASCAP or something that manages that instead of the individual creator.
Open source music.
One thing I want to say to anyone who hasn't seen episode 8 to get back to how to save America and the world, which is what this show really is about, because disinformation is gumming up the works. Martin Scheel has a solution to the Ukraine problem, to the Putin problem, to the oligarch problem, both foreign and domestic. And it's quite simple. Go to fucking Cyprus and de-license a couple of banks. You do that, the oligarchs don't have access to their cash. You do it in response to Putin needing to have another war so he can try to get his ratings up and rebuild the Soviet Union in his image. You do that, and there's a chance that the same oligarchs that put Putin in power will say, fuck this guy, who I'm sure they already loathe to begin with, and take him out of power. Who they replace him with, probably not so great, but at least we have solved the immediate problem. So all these things that we talk about, there's a solution, often many solutions. It's whether or not, the powers that be are willing to take these steps. And I think, listen to Marty, dude knows what he's talking about.
Well, they are talking about disconnecting Russia from the SWIFT system. But then Russia would say, oh my goodness, look at this imperial aggression. So we would need to spread the word to the Russian people. This is why we're doing it. But personally sanctioning the oligarchs, because truly it is the oligarchs who at least used to have power in Russia, sanctioning them specifically, right?
Martin had a very specific plan, which was go through the Panama Papers, find their
shell companies,
find the fucking shell companies and the account numbers, and nuke them. Then the 2 or 3, I forget how many it was, that are banks that are basically exclusively oligarch banks.
Yeah, bank
fucking shut that shit down right away. Yeah. And right now you got some hurting oligarchs, and you haven't yet hurt the people yet. But at a certain point, like, the Russian people have got to stand up for themselves and understand that they are in a fucking dictatorship.
Right.
And not only that, but it's a dictatorship that is currently conspiring with very bad people to destroy liberal democracy.
Yeah.
Globally.
Globally.
Yeah.
Well,
and,
that is why
that is the end game here, is destruction of global liberal democracy. That's what they're trying to do, and until we start looking at it like that, we're just going to keep sliding down this hole.
That's
well, it does feel like NATO is stepping up. They're like, everybody's going to back Ukraine. I don't want to see war break out. I hope Putin gets it through his thick skull that, like, you're going to get a fight this time. Sorry, man, you've been pulling this crap for too long.
Yeah.
Right? However, Marie says Germany sent 1,000 helmets. Yeah, and Vladimir Klitschko literally said, like, what are you going to send us next? Pillows? What the heck?
Yeah. Well, the thing about the Russian people that makes me feel very sympathetic is they are, in my mind, the longest suffering people there are. They've had some really unempathetic leaders for a century or so. And, you know, we're being mind fucked, right? And it's really ramped up since 2016, okay? You know, since the St. Petersburg operation. Imagine being in that country where Putin's done a very good job of trying to keep Western truth out, and having been mind fucked and mind fucked and mind fucked, and all that projection, always calling the people who are telling the truth the liars and all of that. I'm sure maybe the population's inured to a lot of it, but reporters doing the kind of work that we're doing get fucking defenestrated, okay? You know, like they don't have,
So
it's, you know, when you say rise up, it's like, where's Navalny right now? You know what I mean? Where's Navalny?
there was a
He's in jail.
really interesting, there's a really interesting survey I saw about anti-vax sentiment. The people who refuse to ever get the vaccine, in there are two countries that were problematic: Russia and the United States.
I know.
Russia's like dedicated anti-vaxxers is 21%, and the United States is 20%.
Yeah.
The next highest is like 8%, and then it goes down from there. Putin is literally trying to turn us into Russia and succeeding.
Yeah.
That's
That's
what
what's
happens.
happening. He's taking
Well-
the same Russian propaganda that he feeds his own people, and he's feeding it through our own fucking pipes into our own living rooms and destroying our own families.
And the,
So-
yep, the
Into our
criminal
phones,
files,
into our
Yeah.
the criminal
Into
file
everything.
breaks in economics, right? Like the Kentucky Steel Factory, whatever it is. And that's the criminal files breaks down all of the three ways that they do that, which is part of, I think I put this in the signal chat, part of the move that they made for their, what we call hybrid warfare, but their move was called, I forgot what it's called. Anyway, they break down the economic, social, and then there's the other form of influence that they've been focusing on for the past 20 years. But that's where that 12% comes in. They get 12% of the country's GDP, and they slowly will start taking, then they have enough money to influence the lobbies and then the laws, and then they're all just, you know, all but a Russian satellite at that point.
Yeah,
Hey.
I don't think enough attention is paid to the fact that the FEC ruled that foreign money can fund, local
Yes,
ballot
totally.
initiatives.
Not good.
What?
Yeah.
Since when
It's
do we allow
also-
foreign money? What? Anyway, sorry.
It's
Yeah.
also why the NRA infiltration was such a big deal that didn't get
Yeah.
enough attention. Because
Yeah,
one of
they're
the
a
most
huge
powerful
lobby.
lobbying arm. Yeah, huge. One of the strongest next to like the AMA.
The other thing is that, you know, this hybrid warfare, this information warfare, I mean, we're dealing with cheapies, okay? It's very inexpensive to do this type of mind fucking warfare, and the returns, the ROI is pretty great. I just looked at an old thread of mine where I looked at the amount of money spent on Facebook ads and whatnot, the amount of money that Russia spent on. Do you remember how they sent like 2 scouts out here to the country to figure out what our vulnerabilities were? And that way they knew what their narratives were going to be. And it was literally like, you know, they have racial strife. Okay, so we're going to divide that further. You know, that was kind of what was done. You know, here's the purple states, you know, we'll target that. So it's very inexpensive to mindfuck people. Jim did an incredible film about it, which I hope sees sunlight soon, because I think that's going to have to be required viewing for every 6th grader, just like learning what the Internet Research Agency did in 2015 and 2016 is going to have to be required reading in history. We have to start making it much more apparent in real time what's happening to our country, because it's being papered over. The zone and the flood of shit, it's being just filled all the time, way too fast, with stuff that's not as important as American mindfuck and what the Internet Research Agency did. I saw somebody in our chat said they just saw People You May Know. We had, you know, Dr. Charles Creel and Kat Gallen, the creator of that, on this show. The information's there. It does not seem to be, you know, breaking through on that level that that we need the country, you know, to know about it. It has to.
they do not want us. The most intense pushback I've had this entire time is when I tried to start a volunteer group to help people,
Yeah.
or more specifically to help loved ones, not even to try and help people directly, just tell friends and family what was going on, right? What's happening to them? How did they, what was the process that hurt them and got
Right.
them, to this position? And what are the ways that you can potentially help? Not de-radicalizing or deprogramming or any of that weird shit.
Right.
And, and I've been writing about it. What was done to us in that group was vile. It was despicable. And it was because we were trying to attack the exact problem that they don't want us to attack, which is disinformation poisoning, brainwashing, undue influence. There are lots of words for it, but it has to do with human beings who've been basically turned into zombies by disinformation.
Right.
And people can get out of that. They can find their way out. But there are specific ways that you need to communicate with someone in order to give them the opportunity to find their way out themselves. And until we start getting that information out there, demystifying it, like instead of just thinking of your cousin as now this horrible new person that you've never met before, and who the fuck is this? Realize it's still the same person. They've just been partially taken over by this.
One of the things that would help is if we had people at high levels of government acknowledge that we are under attack. We have been hit with hybrid warfare. I think that needs to be said at federal levels. Problem is all the people,
fucking president he needs to say, "Hey, look, guys,
this is what's going on."
There's been official reports put out, but fuck, I mean, I shared them with you guys. I just am not finding them. These are from 2 years ago. Nobody knew about them. Nobody knows about this stuff. It's released in some federal agency. It goes on the internet. It's lost in the PDF, slush pile of research papers. And, there's no attention brought to it.
Yeah, there's one paper from the Republican Senate committee. That was about Russian interference, and it doesn't go deep enough. However, it lays it out.
Yeah.
It's a fucking psychological operation being perpetrated on the United States by the Russians. It says it in black and white in a fucking report from the Republican Senate.
Yep. And how wide a distribution did that get?
And no one knows about it. They still have all these idiots out there saying, "Oh, you're bluing on, you're fantasizing." No.
It's reported, it's documented, it's out there. Go look. It's not hard.
But
I
we've been
saw someone
into not want to hear it, and it sucks.
I saw someone in the comments I saw a back and forth in the comments on one of our videos where somebody tried to say, like, what are you talking about? These targeted ads, made people not vote for Hillary Rodham Clinton. And it's documented. This isn't an argument anymore. There are reports, there are articles.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
But anyway, it was funny.
People
that's
don't
what the
want
other
to
person
believe
came back with. No
one wants to believe that they've been fooled. No one wants to believe that they've been the victim of propaganda or disinformation. It's embarrassing. There's shame. There's all kinds of shit that's involved.
It's our manifest destiny. The rugged individualist doesn't want to think that their accomplishments aren't their own.
Yeah, well,
I'm a rugged individual and turn myself into a suicide bomber with fucking COVID.
That's my doing.
Good for you.
Ooh, hold on. I have to say something to Gary in the comments. Intel people know this stuff. Few are good at articulating same to the rest. Okay, yes, Gary, you are very true. However, I want you to keep in mind, Gary, that right now there are multiple federal investigations. Really, one thing that people have been pointing out is there never was a counterintelligence investigation of Trump after the Mueller report, and there was supposed to be. Yeah. So what's going on with that? Right.
Yeah. Well, I think the counterintelligence is, the OSINT folks that we hang out with, that's where the information's been coming from. I mean, it's taken citizens you know, all these hours to put in our own investigations. I just sent you I just sent you the link, Sean, if you can run that Jack Bryan clip. I know we're going a little bit long, but I want to finish this up. I want to just round it out with this clip. Yeah, there's a lot of money behind not being truthful in America right now. So that's the issue.
Yeah, that spigot needs to be turned off.
That's what's going on. You know, I mean,
well, I mean, ON getting taken down off of DirecTV is a good start.
Yeah.
Anytime why is Newsmax still up there?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we're gonna have to wait a little while for Fox probably, but like Tucker, how the fuck is Tucker on television right now? Like straight up anti-vax shit coming out on Fox. He had Alex Berenson on the fucking show. Did you guys see that? The worst. Straight up saying, don't get the vaccine. Bananas, man.
Yeah. Well, I don't think anyone who thinks 70% of the world knows that he's a propagandist.
Let's get this. Get audio here.
Yeah.
There we go. No audio.
No audio?
It's just not playing yet.
No, it played. You didn't have any audio?
Oh.
All right. Let me see. Hold on. This is why we send things before time.
This is how we do it.
You guys go ahead.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Let's talk about Mercury, PR, and TYT. No.
Let's do. You know, we're out of time, or we would try to get to a few more things. But the reason I wanted to end with Jack's clip is that there are so many people reaching out saying, what do we do? What do we do? Well, one of the things that we don't do is accept this defeatist and demoralizing, you know, mindset around disinformation. We don't do that, because if we did that, then they win. And if we're divided, then they win. So we have to really, you know, be, I think, hyper vigilant about knowing what is truthful, not accepting the erosion of norms, not accepting the erosion of, you know, science. And Jack put it much more eloquently than that. And for those of you who did not see episode 10, we encourage everybody to please watch Jack Bryan's film, Active Measures, for 90 minutes. He does an incredible job of explaining what the fuck happened to America and how it was what happened here had been done in various other countries as various dry runs before they came to target America. Know that what we're going through is not normal, but know that there are solutions to all of this. And that is why we do this show. And we're very excited that you're going to join us again, hopefully next week. We have some great guests booked in the next few weeks. In fact, one of the guests was the president of one of these companies that Putin did active measures on, and he
Countries.
can like
a company? No. This guy was the president of a country.
President of a country, and that's what I'm going to say about that. We have a former president of one of the countries that was hit with active measures first, and he can tell us and walk us through what we're experiencing now from his firsthand knowledge. So that's going to be really cool. That's in 2 weeks.
Good teaser.
Any summary thoughts you guys have?
Yes, I got
Marie.
Nope. We'll talk to you soon.
Just thank you so much, not only for your support of the show, but your support of Jim. And I think that those who didn't jump ship when the discrediting campaign came our way are going to be really stoked that they didn't. And that's all I'll say about that. And buy Neil Young's music on vinyl.
Yes.
And cancel Spotify.
Sweet dreams,
Right.
everybody.
Yeah.
Night, guys.
Love you
Thank
guys.
you.
Bye.
Love.